Dear learners, welcome to the Excel Power Tool series. In this video, we are going to learn how to get the data from folder. In this video, we are going to learn if we want to create a query from a multiple files, then how we can create it. So let's get the practical. Please download the files with the link given in the description box to download the file. Let's start with the practical. The moment you download this folder, you will have the following files with you. Now first, let's understand what how the file looks like in this kind of query. If you see, there is a folder named enrollments. Now, first of all, let's check out the data. If you double click on the enrollment folder and open the folder, you will see three different files which is coming from the system is being stored. Now, first of all, we need to check the extension of the file. So if you see, all the three files are .csv, that is comma separated value file format. Now, let's open each file. First of all, I will open enrollment Brisbane 1.csv. Now, opening this file, let's rearrange the column by selecting the entire Excel spreadsheet. Let's go to Format and Autofit column width. First of all, we need to check out that how the data looks like. So first, if you see the data is not in a proper tabular format, then we need to have our header in the first row. So the headers are already there in the first row. Now, if we check out as per the definition of structured data, we need to convert this into a table data. Data is already there in terms of rows and columns. There are individual unique headers which are there. First is staff name, then staff name, email ID, department, manager, branch, course name, and course date. And we are having individual records inside it, and there are none of the records that are missing value. So the only thing that is not there, that is the tabular data is not there. Along with that, we'll also see that the header name and the sequence of header, we need to remember it. So first it's staff ID, then staff name, email, department, manager, branch. This is coming from Brisbane. So if you see, there are 7 records into this Brisbane branch. And then last we have course date. Let's close this file. Let's understand what is there inside the second file. So if you open this enrollments melbourne1.csv, and if we check out what is there inside the data, let's select the entire sheet, then go to format and autofit column width to check out the data. So here we are having same header. If you see, the sequence of the header are same. The first one is staff ID, then staff name, email, department, manager, branch, course name, and course date. If you see, all these records are coming from Melbourne branch. And if you see, we are having 5 record into this file. So Melbourne is having 5 record into it, and we are having a header which is exactly similar to the previous file in the Brisbane. Let's close this file and let's open the third file, enrollment Sydney 1.csv. If you click on the sheet and arrange the all the columns, you will see the sequence of the headers are same. Staff ID, staff name, email, department, manager, branch, course name, and course date. And we are having approx 8 records over here. Okay, if we can see the structure of the file, so the structure of the file is very identical in all the 3 files. So it is very important that whenever you put the files inside the folder, you must have the structure of the file in a similar format. Since these are coming from some system, it will always be the same. The same header you will see staff ID, staff name, email, department, manager, branch, course name, and course date. Okay. So these are the three files that we are having it, in total 20 records that we are having it. And we need to create a query of these three files which are coming, which is of same extension, the same format and the same structure. So what we have done is we have put all this file inside one folder called enrollments. Now whenever we want to create a query which is coming from folder, then how we can create it, that we will do it this time. So you can see we have a file called EPT104 get data from a folder. Let's double click on the file to open the file. Now click on enable editing, and if you are asked, please click on enable content also. Now since we have not been told where to load the query in terms of table format, we'll always make sure that if you have a blank sheet, then you can load the query wherever it is asked for. But suppose if it is not asked for, it is better to load the query into new worksheet file. But first of all, we'll see the option that how to get the data from folder. So let's get to data. Then we'll go to get data. Since we are having files, but multiple files, the option is there in the from file tab, and you will see something known as from folder. Now let's click on from folder. The moment you click on the folder, you will see a window which will ask you to load where your enrollment folder is. So we'll be having this browse tab. Now my file is in the EPT1 folder, and if you see inside the EPT, I am having this enrollment. So please navigate it to wherever you have downloaded and find out the folder enrollments and select this enrollment folder and click on open. Now you will see something this window which is saying some content which are having binary, then we have name, then we have extension, then we have date access. So you will see a metadata will be extracted over here. Now at the bottom you will see four options. The first one is combine, the second one is load, transform data and cancel. Here we are having option which is a new option called combine option. Now here one operation called append which automatically will be done by selecting this operations. So we'll learn what is append in the next video, but as of now we'll understand how to load this data from folder. So let's click on combine drop down. When you click on the drop down, you will see something known as combine and transform data. Let's click on combine and transform data. The moment you select the combine and transform, you will see a sample preview file which will be shown. Just click on OK. Now, when you click on OK, all the three files will be loaded into the Power Query Editor window, and you will see all the automatic step that will be done. Now here one operation has done automatically, which is backend operation called append. Now append we will learn in the upcoming videos. But if you see, we as of now, there is one new column which has been added called the source dot name, and you will see each file name from wherever the record it is coming. So if you see the first six records that are coming from, for seven records are coming from Brisbane, then five records are coming from Melbourne, and the rest of the records that are coming from Sydney. Now, if you see the header staff ID, so from the very first file, the first row has been taken as a header. And if you see below it, all the records from all the other files except the headers has been appended. That means vertically it has been staked on top of each other. Now, here what we need to do, here we need to keep only those columns which are required in our final query. So if you see, source name is not required in our final query. So let's right click on the source name and remove this column because this column is not needed into my final query. Now, let's select the appropriate data type. If you see the staff ID, it's a number data. By default, it has taken its data type 123, that is whole number. But since we are not going to aggregate any time the nominal scale data, we are going to select appropriate data type, that is text. Then here we are having staff name. So you'll see all the staff name are listed over here. Then we have email ID. All the email IDs are listed over here. You see the data type of both of them is automatically selected text. Now we are having department, which is having text data and the data type is also text. Manager, it is having text data, the data type is also text. If you see the branch, it's having text data, it's on the left hand alignment and the data type is also text. Then course name, it has been text, and this is very great. If you see, date has been automatically taken into the date variable. This is a symbol of calendar which state that it's a date format. And here you can see that there is some null value also. So from here we need to inform to the concerned authority that there are some missing values which they need to fill it up. Now if you see the name of the query, it has come automatically called enrollments. So the name enrollment has came from the name of the folder. So remember, whatever name the folder is having it, the same name will be there for the query. Now let's assume that we have done the transformation. Now we have to load the query. So let's go to home, close and load drop down, and if you see, we are having something known as close and load to. Let's click on close and load to. Now we have been asked to load the data. So first we will select the table data, and since we are not having any blank sheet where we are asked to plot, so we'll first select new worksheet. So just select table and select new worksheet and click on OK. So you will see a new sheet will be created known as enrollments, and you will see a data will be loaded over here. If you see at the bottom, enrollment, a new worksheet has been created and 20 entries which are loaded over here in a structured manner. Now, the beauty of this thing is once you create this pipeline, what will happen whenever there is a new file or new data which is coming inside that folder, then automatically this data will be updated once you refresh this query. Now let's see in action what is the meaning of it. Let's first of all save the file. Now let me go to the folder where I have been my original data. So if you see in the enrollment folders, currently I am having only 3 files which are having 20 records. Now I am having one file which is called as the enrollments melbourne 2.csv. So there is one new data file which has came from the system and that we need to add to my previous data. So let's cut this file, put it inside the folder. So if you see, now we are having 4 files. In this file also there are 2 new records which we have put the file inside the folder. Now, so if you see, now we have 4 files. Now let's go to this query that we have created. As of now, if you see, there are 20 records, but if you right click over here and open the contextual menu and click on refresh, the same thing you could do it into the query tab, and then you can do from here refresh. If you click on refresh, what will happen, all the step will be done, and if you see the 2 entries which is of melbourne, that will be added over here. So now there will be 22 records. If you see over here, you will see 22 row loaded. Okay, the beauty of this is this entire pipeline is automated. The moment you add any file to the folder, or if you remove any file to the folder, automatically all the changes will be updated over here by refreshing this query manually. Automatically this will not be updated, but the pipeline will be done automatically. Data will be updated manually only by refreshing the query. So now if you see, we are having 4 files, 4 file, There are 22 rows which are there in a structured manner. One of the important operation called append that has been automatically done over here. And the moment you do this one, you will see something known as helper query. These helper queries are very important because these are backend queries which are going to run when we reuse this query. So here we do not need to touch this query anywhere. So just cut down this query, close this, and we just need to see this only. So we, in this file we can see that we are having 4 queries. The enrollment query is already there, right? But if you see, there is a query which has been created called staff. Now if you single click on this staff, you will see the query which is already loaded, but we are having exclamation sign. That means this query has not been loaded from our system. So let's understand how we can remove this error. First of all, just double click on the staff query to open this file into navigator window of Power Query. So let's double click on it. Now, if you see, the first thing that we have to do is remove all the step that has been done by previous person. So let's delete with the help of delete key. Now, if you see, we have a cog sign, so you can just click on the cog sign to open the source. So that will give you the path name. So if you see, this is the previous path from which the query has been created. Let's click on browse to load the data file from our system. Now, if you see, I'm having a file over here, staff.accdb, and click on import. So you'll see my path will be there. Now click on OK. Now, if you see, you will see along with the data, metadata will also be there. Now, if you want to check out the data, you will see there is a column named data. Our actual data is in the data column. Remember, when the data is coming from staff or database file or any workbook file, the data is always there in the data column. So right click on the data column and select remove other columns because we only require this column. Now, to see actual data, we need to expand this table. So let's click on expand. You will see the name of the headers will be listed over here, which are there in the table data in database file. Here there's one option called use original column name as prefix. So if you see, the name of column is data. So if you want everywhere data to be prefixed along with this ID, then you have to tick mark this thing. It is better to untick this one because I don't want to prefix any name. Then click on OK. So you'll see actual data will be there over here. Now, whatever transformation that we have done in the previous video, all transformation, we have to do it over here. So the first thing is, let's select the first name with the help of control key, select the last name. Now, here what you can do is just right click on the column and you will have something known as contextual menu. In contextual menu, you will find something known as merge column. This is the same option that you can go to transform and merge, or you can do over here also merge column. Let's do merge column. I want to merge with a separator called space. And I want to give this column name staff name. So let's give this name staff name. Now we have to check out data and data type. So let's get for ID first. ID is a text data because we are not going to perform any arithmetic operation on this numbered data. Then we have start date. Date should be there in the date data type. Then email ID must be there in the text data. Similarly, department I want in the text data. Manager I want in the text data. Location I want that in the text data. Now, so my transformation has been done. Let's rename this query as a staff list. Now, my query has been done. Now let's go to close and load, and you see only one option is visible. Why? Because this query is already loaded. So let's click on close and load. The moment you click close and load, The entire query will run again. It will extract the data from your system, transform all the data that you have done, all the transformation will be done, and the data will be loaded from your system, and you will see the exclamation mark will be gone. Similarly, if you see over here in the course schedule, here we are having another error because the query is there, but the query is simply not created by me. So let's create the query and load the data from our system. Let's double click on the file. Then the first thing, we need to remove all the steps which has been created by previous person. Now let's click on the cog sign. Then click on browse. Then navigate to the file where you have loaded training.schedule. Let's click on import. So you will have something, the entire path which is there. Now click on OK. Now here you see we have, along with the data, metadata will also be there. Here again, because it is coming from workbook file, my actual data is in the data column. So let's right click on the data and click on remove other columns. Now to see the actual data, let's click on expand symbol. Now since in the original file the first row was blank, I am having the header name column 1, column 2, column 3 respectively. Just untick this because I don't want data to be prefixed along with the header name, and click on OK. Now here we need to do all the transformations which are required. Now if you see, my actual header is in the first row. Now we need to go to home, and in the transform group you can see use first row as a header. Let's use this option, use first row as a header, to make sure that the row becomes my header. Now let's do the transformations which are required. The first transformation is, I want to fill down all my values. So let's go to transform, fill, and fill down. Now date is there in the date format, in date data type. Course code is there, but the data type is whole number. Let's change the data type to text because these are not actually number data. Course name is in text data type. Instructor code, let's change it to text data type because we are not going to perform any arithmetic operation into the future. Now if you see, the course schedule query name is already there. Now my transformation is done. Let's go to home, close and load, and I will do only close and load. Why? Because my query is already loaded. So you will see the data will be extracted from my system, it will be transformed, and it will be loaded as a query over here. You see, all the error will be removed from our system, right? Whenever we create any query, we need to make sure that there is no error must be there at the end, and then we have to save the file. So in this video, we have learned that how to get the data from multiple files, that the option is folder. In the next video, we are going to learn one important operation called appending queries with two data sets. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please like the video, comment below in the sections, share this video with your fellow mates, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest update. I will see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you.